5 real curses placed on items. Curses are terrifying. The idea that words can hold so much power over someone or something is truly frightening. Supernatural haunted items are so powerful because often there's nothing anyone can do about them. Today, we'll look at some paranormal activity surrounding cursed objects. What would you do if something you own turned out to be cursed? You may want to have an exorcist on deck after this spooky video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more scary content, and keep watching for a bonus cursed item. Let's get started. Number 5. Annabelle Doll. This doll was given to a student nurse in 1970. The doll was caught behaving strangely, although maybe the fact that it was behaving at all was strange enough, and was taken to a psychic medium to see what was causing the strange occurrences. The medium told the student that the doll was possessed by a spirit named Annabelle. The student tried to appease and nurture the spirit within the doll, but Annabelle remained malicious and frightening to her. She sent it off to the occult museum owned by Ed and Lorraine Warren. It has been there to this day. While many claim this story is a common tale, a story with no truth behind it, the Warrens hold that the doll is well and truly possessed. Annabelle has inspired several movies from the Conjuring franchise, including Annabelle, Annabelle Creation, and Annabelle Comes Home. The doll also made a brief appearance in Aquaman and Shazam. Whether or not you believe this doll is cursed, there are certainly plenty of movies to watch the curse in action. Number 4. Dybbuk box. Dybbuk boxes have been a piece of folklore since as early as 2003, and Dybbuks themselves have been a legend since the early 1600s. According to the legend, the Dybbuk boxes are old cabinets haunted by Dybbuks, evil spirits that can only be removed by a holy rabbi. This may come out of left field, but Post Malone allegedly touched a Dybbuk box on a Travel Channel TV show and claimed in 2018 that he was cursed by a Dybbuk. He certainly had a run of bad luck. His former house was robbed, his plane's tires blew out, and his Rolls-Royce was in a car accident, among other things. Hopefully, Post Malone was able to resolve this curse. Number 3. The Crying Boy paintings. Giovanni Bragolin painted a series of paintings featuring crying boys during the 40s and 50s. There were as many as 65 of these touching works of art. But there was a problem with these paintings. The people who owned them seemed to have a lot of house fires. According to an urban legend, Giovanni himself fled to Spain, as one of the orphanages he painted burned down in real life, and Giovanni didn't want to be under fire for the curse. No pun intended. Still, word got around. In 1985, a house fire burned Ron and May Hall's house to the ground. The only item that survived the fire? Giovanni's crying boy painting. Other house fires in the neighborhood also happened to houses with Giovanni's works in them, with the same result: complete destruction and a nearly intact painting of a crying boy. Eventually, the paintings were gathered up and burned in a bonfire. So what brought about this curse? One story goes that the boy in the painting was an orphan Giovanni had adopted. The child, Don Bonillo, was mute and watched his own parents die in a house fire. One day, Giovanni's studio burned down, and he threw Bonillo out, never to see him again. He died in a car crash, and his own body burnt beyond recognition. Years later, Steve Punt investigated the paintings, and it was concluded that the crying boy paintings were put through a fire retardant. They were also hung up by thread, and thus fell face down in the blaze, further protecting them from fire. Fortunately, as all the paintings have been destroyed, the curse has vanished along with it. Number 2. The Hope Diamond. One of the most famous diamonds in the world, the Hope Diamond has a storied history. It's an enormous 112-carat blue diamond cut in the 1600s and given to King Louis XIV. While in India, the diamond was made as large as possible due to the belief that diamonds held protective power and warded off evil. King Louis had the diamond cut down to a sparkling, symmetrical 67-carat stone worth about $3.6 million in today's money. During the French Revolution, the diamond went missing, but another, smaller blue diamond turned up 20 years later, likely the Hope Diamond cut down further. It was sold to King George IV, acquired after his death by the Duke of Wellington, and sold again to Henry Philip Hope. The Hope family aided early America with finances, but eventually squandered their wealth away. The diamond left the family in 1901, sold to pay gambling debts. But it was sold at an overvalued price and sat on the shelf of the jewelers, unable to be sold, and the store that bought it went bankrupt a few years later. It changed hands again and again and again, bringing each new owner terrible luck. Tragedy, murder, poor health, and more followed it. The last owner of the diamond, Evelyn Walsh McLean, wore it proudly until her son was killed in a car accident. After her death, the Hope Diamond made its way to the Smithsonian, where it resides to this day. All this horrible bad luck hasn't applied to the Smithsonian. Perhaps the diamond's curse only applied to the rich and the wicked. If that were the case, would you want this diamond in your possession? Number 1. Myrtles Plantation Mirror. The Myrtles Plantation near St. Francisville, Louisiana, was built in 1794 by David Bradford. A man on the run, he wasn't pardoned until 1799. He taught law in Pennsylvania, and one of his students, Chris Woodruff, married Bradford's daughter, Sarah Matilda. Bradford died that same year. Sarah died in 1823, bearing 3 children. 2 of them died from yellow fever, which is what took Sarah. Woodruff and his son moved to Louisiana. After this, the Myrtles Plantation changed hands over the years, each with a tragic death following a sale. A large mirror hangs in the house on the plantation, said to contain the spirits of those who have died in the house. That includes some of the owners, a slave who tried to poison Sarah Matilda, and some Union soldiers who tried to rob it. The mirror is cleaned often, but photos of it show multiple handprints on it. Despite being surrounded by death, this curse could be a coincidence. Still, would you visit this haunted home? Thanks for watching the video so far. We've got just one more cursed item for you, and it's well and truly terrifying. Don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more. Now, onto our most cursed item. Bonus: the Devil's Bible. This enormous book, often referred to as the Devil's Bible or the Codex Gigas, is 3 feet in length and can only be lifted by 2 people, as it weighs 165 pounds. The amount of leather required for this tome was over 150 donkey skins. Allegedly, the manuscript was written in one night by a monk accused of practicing demonic arts. Before he was to receive his punishment, he made a deal with the devil, created the book, and was imprisoned and suffocated in the walls of his monastery the next morning. While it's unlikely that the monk actually did all this in one night, more likely requiring decades of work to complete, graphologists claim that whoever created this did it alone. The writing and art style is consistent throughout the manuscript. The actual text of the Codex Gigas contained a common Latin version of the Old Testament, as well as other major religious and historical texts of the time. It also included writings on exorcisms, calendars, and magic formulae. Until it arrived in the National Library of Sweden in 1877, those who possessed the manuscript were cursed, suffering disasters and illnesses. Luckily, the library seems immune to the effects of the curse. But what do you think? Did this monk really complete this enormous task in one night? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching our video. Looking for more? Check out this playlist. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss more frightening videos by us. We've got 2 more videos coming up just like this one. Why not leave a comment down below about which cursed item was your favorite? Anyway, we'll see you in the next video. Take care.